DC here. Hi, guys and gals. It is Sunday morning. Nice and cool. Well, it's not cold, but it's 17 degrees Celsius. Hi, Siri. What is 17 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
62.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so about 63. So that is really nice. I mean, it's not, like I say, not cold. It's just nice. And it'll warm up. Yeah, I think it's going to go up to 30 today. So Mrs. DC is back from Spain. She was tired. She was tired. I think it's, when you're in, I think loggers itch. When you're in a trip like that, first off, it's a foreign country. That's one thing. Foreign language. And you're in they were with family. So it's, she doesn't speak Spanish. So, you get the whole thing. It can be quite tiring, actually. I think she's still recovering. Oh, I was thinking about that because there was things going on, different things going on actually at work and so on, and it brought me up to this topic of belonging. It's like how important it is to belong to something. I mean, you probably, especially those I think everybody all around the world who's lived in villages, for example, or wherever, there's guilds, there's clubs, and there's all type of things where, if you're part of the community, you've got to belong. And the loners were always, pointed with a finger because they don't belong. Um, there was always that I remember when I was living in Sutton, Quebec, and it was a village, but it was a bilingual village then. I think I was going to say, as far as I know, it still is now. It's one of probably the few villages in Quebec which are counted as bilingual, I guess, still. But you had to belong to one side or the other, so to say. And we belong, so to say, to both. So in a way, we kind of never belonged to either one. It was always a very frustrating situation up to a point because you were never actually one or the other, and that's probably what happens when somebody is part of a minority. But it depends how big the minority is. I mean, that's why, of course, you have in so many villages or so many cities. I mean, you will have ghettos or what, so to say, ghettos where people who belong together stay together. Yeah, I was just thinking about how that's important and how it is like if getting into a new so-called social class. There was a question in a tag I did, one of the Dave Nichols, it was Dave Nichols tags yesterday. Uh, the question was, which social class do you belong? I guess that was it. And, or which one do you identify with, I guess. It doesn't really matter. It comes to the same as far as the discussion is going. And I was thinking, yeah, it's very important to say that you belong. And the worst thing often is when you feel that you're caught into somewhere where you don't belong and you're trying to move up or actually move down. I'm bringing that because I've discussed that actually a few times. Where I used to work was a big pharma company, and a lot of the people, I was going to say a lot, not all, but a lot, were people that had we could say, silver spoons all their life. And I didn't come from that. And if I mentioned my humble roots, you'd be looked upon. Now, where I work now, which is a dairy transforming company, so dairy producers. Um, I was the scientific person. I was the only doctor or PhD in the company, but I was the one doing the research. So I kind of had to go the other way. If you, and I'm not trying to debase anybody, I mean trying to go the other way and very much bring up my humble background. I like the way I say that, my humble background. But you know what I'm talking about. For people to accept me differently, and I was kind of happy a few times when people would say amongst themselves, um, "Oh, well, he has a degree, but he's one of us." It's a very interesting comment in a way. Um, yeah, belonging. Were we talking about? It was a while back. I think we were talking about grade school, and if you like, that's what I like about tags. Actually, you bring out. Sometimes there's questions that help you to bring out things that you haven't thought about in a long time. But the question about school and so on, and when we were in school, very much school is a lot of like belonging, isn't it? Being in the in group or not in the in group, or you don't want to be in the in group, or you know that if you're in the in group, your things are not going to go the way that you want, and so on. And I see like my grandchildren, which are preschool but coming up to it. I think Michael will be going into kindergarten soon and stuff like that. And I kind of get a knot in the stomach when I think about all that, because I think about the stuff that we had to go through. And I do remember with actually bad memories in a way, but bad memories kind of mellow with time, I guess. But bad memories of the busing situations. Um, our high school was in another town at the time. I mean, they didn't have a high school anymore in the town, and so we had to be bused. But to be bused over to the high school, they picked up the kids of pretty well all over along the way. So, and going into the countryside and so on, it wasn't the direct route. So it would take about an hour to do something that was a lot shorter than that. And you can imagine, I mean, if there's only a bus driver and he's got to, look at what he's doing, keeping the law in a school bus is not a simple thing. It's like you see in the movies, and that's exactly what it's like. Yeah. Oh. How's it being for you? I mean, like even like today, we're adults, but we still try to belong into something, don't we? I mean, some of us are loners, and I think with time, it's kind of nice to be a loner in a way, because you don't have any type of social, or a lot less social pressure in a way now when you're an adult, and yet you do. There's always something. We're social creatures, so being alone is a difficult thing. We do tend to belong, even if it's just going out for a coffee every now and then and meeting up with people and so on. And other times we just want to be alone. But there's always that time, isn't there, where we kind of need to belong. I mean, look at us I was going to say us, the few people that are watching this. I mean, we're kind of like a YouTube group, and we belong, and you know when somebody is not like communicated with you for a while, and you think like, well, what's going on? Have I offended, or not, or so on? There's just so many things that might come to your mind. Anyway, tell me what you think about it. Okay, so I'm over 9 minutes. That'll be DC signing off. Take care, everybody, for this Sunday morning coffee vlog. Bye-bye.